Hey, it's Sunday, March 18th, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and this is The Forgotten Right. My name's Chris Johnson, and we're going to be talking about this evening the presidential prospects for the Democrats for the 2020 election. And things aren't looking that great so far, just kind of like my March Madness brackets, thanks to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. I sure do appreciate it, guys. But it's been fun to watch everybody playing ball. But I think that's going to be a lot of fun for the rest of this month doing that, even with the broken brackets, right, everybody? If you haven't already, check out ForgottenRight.com. On the website, you can click on the blog section and check out my article about who I think the Democrats might run for president in 2020. So without further ado, let's see who's going to run against the man here. The special guest, like I told my wife before the show, Donald Trump. Let's see if any of these contenders will have what it takes to take on the real Donald Trump. First on the list, if you're checking out the website, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I didn't even know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had any aspirations to even be in politics. I know that he was a wrestler. He sang a song in Moana, right? But beyond that and being a character on my kids' WWE 2018 game, I don't think he's much of a politician. He's a decent actor, I guess. I've seen some of his film work. But I don't think he's a Ronald Reagan, coming from Hollywood into run for president. Not at all. I mean, heck, I could be wrong, right? I don't think that I am. I don't think that he really has much of a chance. And a lot of people said the same thing about Donald Trump not having a chance, coming from some entertainment background. Difference is that Donald Trump had a lot of business. And I think that that's what helped to win him. At least win him the presidency, that he had some business background and being able to talk things out. But a little bit different note for our next contestant and who will be running against Donald Trump in 2020, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah does have business background. She's got the money to back it up. She has the money to back up her presidential race like Donald Trump does. I don't think that she has the money like Donald Trump, but she definitely has business background. She has name recognition. She's black. She's female. She's everything that the Democrats want, minus maybe being younger. And I think that she definitely could give Donald Trump a run for his money. Will she run? That's anybody's guess. I would say as of right now, it's probably 50-50. I really do. I think that she's exploring some options into if she will run. But we'll see. Only time will tell, right? But it definitely wouldn't be as fun as if Rosie O'Donnell attempted a race. If she tempted herself at the going up against the Dodd. I mean, even if she put her name in the hat, I don't think that she has a chance at all to run for president. None. Not one iota of an opportunity. Not one chance. Not one chance in hell does Rosie O'Donnell have to look at that picture. Is that awesome? But to go up against Donald Trump in the election. Now, if she did get the nomination, it would be definitely interesting for the debates. Would they have to get the bouncers from the Jerry Springer show to become involved to keep the two apart? I would say most likely. And let's get into some more serious candidates. Here's one a name that I hadn't heard of, even living a state away. Sherrod Brown. Now, who is Sherrod Brown, you ask, unless you're from the state of Ohio? He's the senator. He's a senator from the state of Ohio. He's younger, most definitely, than some of the other candidates that they put up here in the past couple of years. He's more moderate. He falls more towards the center. But some issues with this guy. He's white, he's male, and aren't the Democrats wanting to play more towards the minorities? Isn't that what their base is? Minorities, people with issues. They want to stand up for something. You want to be for something. You want to yell, you want to scream, and I just don't see Sherrod Brown being that face. Now, vice presidential candidate, I would say most definitely he's more like a Tim Kaine type in my eyes. But does he actually make the run? I would say he does make the run. I'd say he at least goes up into the primaries. But beyond that, does he get the nod? I would say he doesn't. And I would say he's more of a vice presidential candidate than he is a presidential candidate. Now, Jerry Brown. I think most people have probably heard of Mr. Brown, governor of California. It's California, right? That's the liberal hangout haven. He's brought the economy around there, I guess, a little bit from what I'm reading. That now that the state has a surplus to budget, but how can you really have a surplus in the budget when you have debt in a lot of the public works projects? The state pensions is what, a couple $1 billion in the tank? So to say that they really have a surplus is about nothing short of a lie. But does he have a chance? I would say, yeah, Jerry Brown does have a chance. Not a lot of people outside of California really have heard of him a whole lot. He does have name recognition, I'll give him that. But to really know what his body of work is, I would say no. I didn't really know a whole lot about Jerry Brown before I started researching for tonight's episode. And that's that on Jerry Brown. I would say that he might, I would say about 80% chance of Mr. Brown making the run, getting the nod. He could be a contender, but again, it's an old white man. Isn't that what the Democrats are yelling and screaming about? That we have an old white man in the White House with Donald Trump? So why would they want to run an old white man against an old white man? And that brings the youth movement in. Cory Booker, Democratic senator from the state of New Jersey. He was the mayor of Newark. He gets around. He's got name recognition. He's younger. He's black. He's everything that the Democrats want, right? I don't think he's got a whole lot of baggage with him. He's very outspoken. And if he does make a run, you definitely could see him being the golden boy. But would he make a good candidate against Donald Trump? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how they play their cards. I think that he could be a good candidate against Donald Trump, as much as I wouldn't like to say that. I don't think he carries a whole lot of baggage, unlike Donald Trump, who does have baggage on a lot of things. And we'll just have to wait and see. I do think he makes a run. He would be another good vice presidential candidate for the Democrats. It certainly wouldn't be as fun as if we had Elizabeth Warren make a run. Elizabeth Warren getting the 2020 Democratic nomination for president. Can you hear Donald Trump now on the Pocahontas wagon? I think there would even be advertisements about Pocahontas and her heritage and the lies that she's made to get herself to where she's at. But isn't that politics as normal when it comes to the left? The debates, again, would be fun. Definitely. I don't know if they'd be as fun as the rosy Donald Trump debates, which we know that we're never going to see. But they'd definitely be fun. They'd be argumentative. They'd be at each other's throats. And Donald Trump would just wipe her clean because he's so much better spoken than what she is. She loses her head when it comes to Donald Trump. He really gets under her skin, and he enjoys it. And if she did get the Democratic nod, she's got some major backtracking to do. She really needs to change her image, especially when it comes to Donald Trump. So how can you run her against Donald Trump when she has such a bad image with Donald Trump and all the arguments that they've had against each other? Yeah, Donald Trump's the president. He won. She hasn't. And he'd eat her alive. But the debates would be great. Absolutely great. But there's no hiding from Joe Biden, is there? After this last election, Joe Biden, during the election, decided that he wasn't going to run for president because he really thought that Hillary had it in the bag. He didn't want to be in politics anymore, yada, yada, yada. But the whispers are Uncle Joe's back. Yeah, Uncle Joe wants to make a run for 2020 after the hand-picked next president, Hillary Clinton, didn't quite work out the way that the Democrats thought. That everything was handed to her on a silver platter and fed to her with that silver spoon. And we have Donald Trump as president. Thank God we have Donald Trump as president. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Joe Biden was our president now? Could you imagine if Uncle Joe got elected to president in 2020? How nuts things would be. And the Democrats want to bring up a lot of the sexual past of Donald Trump and his exploits and all the things that he's done. I don't think that they have a clue when it comes to sexual harassment allegations that they would get if they put Uncle Joe in for the nomination, or even just ran him in the primary. There'd be women coming out of the woodwork after Joe Biden. I don't think that's a can of worms that the Democrats want to open up. I could be wrong. They like to open up cans of worms. They like to put their foot in their mouth. But Uncle Joe, I don't know. I don't think that's somebody that they want to play with. And they don't think that they want to get involved into the politics of the presidency. I could be wrong. Now on to the Bernie. Bernie Sanders in 2020. Bernie Sanders. This is what I had to think about Because honestly, I think that if Bernie Sanders would have gotten the Democratic nomination and ran against Donald Trump, that Donald Trump wouldn't be president. I think we'd be talking about President Bernie Sanders. And things definitely would be a lot worse. My taxes would be higher. I don't know if I'd even be still employed. I might be living off welfare. And, welfare, I mean, who pays for all this stuff? Even you want to give free schools, free health care, free to who, right? And I thought about when I was writing my article for the website, forgottenright.com, if Bernie Sanders would have run, if he would have won, how bad would things be? Also, if you've not heard of Bernie Sanders, you might want to talk to a 20-something. I was thinking about that also. Let them show you their Bernie Sanders bumper sticker on the back of their Prius while they're living in mom and dad's basement, because that's where they would be living, right? Where would you find a job? Because if you even found a job, could you afford the taxes at the job? It'd be cheaper not to work. Even with things being turned back now, it's still almost cheaper not to work in some states and some instances. I mean, would you work at McDonald's for $8 an hour when you can sit at home and get TANF and food stamps and, welfare and everything else that comes along with all that? I can't say that I would, and I'm a conservative. I'm about as right-wing as they come. I like working. I like being able to pay into things and help those that need help. But how many people don't need that help? And under Bernie Sanders wanting to give more things away, how many more people will be on the rolls? I think a lot more would be. Would they not? But if Bernie Sanders would have gotten the Democratic nomination for president, we'd have President Bernie Sanders. Thank God that Hillary Clinton cheats. Thank God that she's corrupt and kept us away from that socialist mess that would have come along with Bernie Sanders. But what about Hillary Clinton? Is she going to make a run for 2020? She said no. But here as of late, there have been whispers that Hillary Clinton's going to make a run for it, right? The Clintons are the dynasty, right, of the Democratic Party. Obama was in line, the lineage of Bill Clinton. Because Bill Clinton was the first black president, right? At least that's what they say. He's from Harlem, right? No, he's from Arkansas, you say? Yeah, he is from Arkansas. But he's a politician, and that's what he wanted you to think. Now, getting back to what do the Democrats really want? We were talking about Bernie, right? Bernie Sanders. He's old. He's white. If he runs for president in 2020, he's going to be 78 years old. 78 years old. And they want to talk about an old white guy? An old white guy running for president, right? Running against him. Running against Donald Trump. An old white guy. Old white guy? Is this not an old white guy? Pretty sure he's an old white guy. But what about an old white woman? That looks like one to me. Somebody that's washed up, politically irrelevant anymore. Her policies that she worked with Bill Clinton have been undermined for the most part, other than NAFTA, and that was Bill's idea. And Donald Trump's working on getting rid of that now. Thank the Lord. At least have some... when you have free trade, let's make it free. And that's what he's working on now. Will Hillary Clinton run? 50-50 chance. Will she get the nod? I don't think fairly, but does anything ever come fairly to the Clintons? And I mean, the Clinton Foundation has enough money to pay for about anything. So I would think that if she does run, she definitely has a good chance. Will she win against Donald Trump? Absolutely not. If she gets the nomination, there is not a chance that she would win the presidency. She'd lose again. So did the Democrats do it? You want to think that they're smart enough not to. But I think that they really want to give Hillary Clinton a chance at being the president of the United States. And I think that they could do like what they did in this last presidential election and try to give her another fighting chance, which won't work out. I mean, I think that she's one person that the Democrats hate more than Donald Trump, is Hillary Clinton. And another interesting thought came about, and this is a bonus from the article. Michelle Obama for president. Does she have a chance? Could she run for president? Absolutely, she could run for president. Does she run for president? And my best, Michelle Obama. I think she could. I think she could surprise everybody and make a run for it. Does she? I think it's a low percentage. I don't think Barack wants to be back in the White House. I don't think he wants to be the first dude. I don't think that he wants to be pimping school lunches like Michelle did. Does she run? She could. I would say about 20% chance that she does. Bring Chicago back into it. But man, how snarky would it be to have her as president? She's definitely younger. She's black. She's female. She fits the narrative that they would want to put her into the presidency, most definitely. Does she run? No, I don't think she does. About, not like I said, 20%. 20% chance that she makes a run at it. But if she did run, I think that she would get the nomination. She very well could. She's definitely a better candidate than Dwayne Johnson, Elizabeth Warren. Well, at least this is from the Democrat perspective. If she got in, it'd be awful. Cory Booker's definitely a better candidate than her. Sherrod Brown. I think they should beat Sherrod Brown. She has name recognition. It's Michelle, everybody. She has a painting that was painted, and some kid looked at it, and they got to put it on the national news because some kid looked at her painting. She looks like a princess. Does she look like a princess? I don't think so. I mean, no, she doesn't look like a princess to me. She looks like an old hag first lady who wants to ruin school lunches for kids and put on parties at the White House. She's not my president. Definitely not your president. And hopefully she doesn't run for president, right? Definitely my pick for the Democrat candidate for president is Rosie O'Donnell. You can't beat that. Absolutely cannot beat Rosie O'Donnell for running for president of the United States. How awesome would it be to see that? And then Elizabeth Warren, she'd be fun also. It'd be fun to see them beat up on each other. Donald Trump would win, like I said before. Donald Trump would melee Rosie O'Donnell. I mean, it would be truly awful. And I wouldn't. And be rated M. You couldn't have your kids watch it on TV, but you have to DVR it so you could watch it over and over again. And that's going to end our show for today. On that note, I don't know how much better you can get than that. Again, if you haven't checked out ForgottenRight.com, make sure you go over there and take a look at it. ForgottenRight.com. Check us out on Facebook. Facebook.com Forgotten Right. Twitter @ForgotRight. Because somebody else had already taken Forgotten Right. How could you do that? But we definitely appreciate you tuning in today. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on the videos. Let us know what you think. Visit us on Facebook. Make a comment here. Good, bad, otherwise. Be a troll. We don't care. Make sure that you tune in. We won't be back on Wednesday. I have something else come up. We will be back Sunday. If anything big breaks in between, we'll have a live show about that. We'll be updating the website along the way. But most importantly, give us a like and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm Chris Johnson. It's March 18th, and this has been The Forgotten Right.